He has been worried about you. He's got it into his head that Anthony's intentions aren't honourable.
As honourable as an ex-man's.
Oh, that sounds equivocal.
Does it?
Did something go wrong?
Yeah.
What?
I made a very large fool of myself.
In what way?
Oh, I can't tell you here. My assistant's ears are flapping. I'll see you in the Rovers later.
Lunchtime?
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.
You're not leaving already?
Well, I'm used to an early start.
Why don't you relax while you got the chance?
I didn't want the chance. I'd rather work.
You'll easily find another job.
I don't know how you can say that after last time.
Well, you got more going for you this time.
Oh, yes, I've got no prison record to explain away. I'll have employers running after me.
Now, you've got more experience than you had before.
At a job I would like to have kept.
Well, look, if you don't find something soon, I'll ask Freshco's for more hours.
Good. It's the least you can do. Hello.
Oh, hello, Emily.
It was an interesting broadcast the other day, Kenneth. I listened to every word.
Yes, Toya asked some really good questions. All I had to do was answer them.
It's a shame she finished up getting the sack. That job would have looked impressive on her CV.
Well, she's not the only one who's lost out this week because of me. Deirdre's very upset.
As is Toya. She's putting a brave face on things, but it's nothing of a blow.
Yeah, I suppose so.
Oh, you don't have to suppose.
No, it's the last thing she needed.
And in view of Geoffrey's sudden departure from her life, particularly ill-timed.
Sorry I'm late. I had trouble parking.
Don't worry, they never start on time.
How'd things go yesterday?
Well, Steve MacDonald did his bit. Thought it was worth.
Oh, he got his points across very well.
So did the defence, especially the one about Steve owing Quigley money. I mean, that was a surprise to us all.
Well, he got his main evidence across.
What Quigley said about what he did to Tony?
Yeah.
After that, it was mainly stating the undisputed evidence, you know, state of the body, how long it had lain there.
Vinny, it's all right. Well, you don't want to hear it all again. But I would have rather heard it in court yesterday than stuck out here on my own, isolated. I feel like I've got nothing to do with this trial. Well, you'll get to say your piece today.
Are they calling you this morning or this afternoon?
If there's no delays, it should be before the court breaks for lunch. Well, there's 3 of us here now, so we can take it in turns to wait outside with you. Debs, there's no need.
Look, you two go in, I'll stay.
I'll be okay.
I know you will. I'm staying anyway.
Just spent the morning at the job centre, trying to spot if there's anything I think I could do.
Any luck?
No. So I've gone back to the old-fashioned way of sending out letters of application.
Are you writing these by hand, then?
What, in this day and age? No, I'm using Ken's computer. In fact, the very computer that was used to produce the article that lost me my job in the first place.
I couldn't believe it when you told me.
Mr. Baldwin said you'd resigned.
Yes, I did. But only because Mike was convinced that I was leaking information. I just couldn't stand the atmosphere in the office after that.
We're all sorry you left.
Oh, you might be, Edna. But one of those girls is delighted.
Why?
Well, because I've been cast as the villain. Whoever did talk is off the hook.
Oh, it's a 9-day wonder. It'll be forgotten about in no time.
I won't forget.
Well, you should, because most copies of last week's Gazette will have been recycled by now, and Ken will be moving on to a different column.
Maybe he'll aim his next broadside at you.
Oh, well, let him fire away. I've got nothing to hide.
Well, neither did I.
I'm sorry the way things turned out, Deirdre.
Oh, well. I hope she can live with herself, whoever she is. See ya.
Bye.
Ta-ra.
Will you bring them over, love? Come here. Are you busy later on?
Oh, I'm washing my hair.
You what?
Get off. If you're into out dodgy, count me out.
It's not dodgy. It's more public-spirited. And you'll be doing the local community a service.
Oh, yeah.
And a few quid into the bargain. Is it legal? Well, it's not breaking and entering. And it's not violence.
And does it involve a motor vehicle?
No.
Oh, go on, then, tell us.
Right, love. Oh, cheers, love. There you go. Hey! Don't you forget my change. Anyway, as I was saying...
I deluded myself.
like a silly schoolgirl.
There's nothing silly about hoping you might be attracted to someone.
Well, I thought I could spot a fella cheating on his wife at 100 yards.
Maybe he was very good at it.
He was. I liked him so much.
You have to put it down to experience.
It's his wife I feel sorry for. Wonder what he told her.
Oh, the truth, probably. But he was going to the theatre to review a production for the Gazette.
Didn't tell her he was taking another woman.
Do you think he's done it before?
Probably. Not many older people start new hobbies. They just carry on with the old ones.
It's all rather distasteful.
Yeah. I mean, it's bad enough him cheating on her, but to use her illness as an excuse, well, that's low.
He should be at home with her.
Well, of course he should. I mean, in sickness and in health, them are the vows we make.
Well, at least he's not from around here. You don't have to see him again.
If I did happen to meet him, I wouldn't give him a second chance. I know what it's like to live with illness. You've just got to get on with it.
Well, thousands do it every day.
You're back again? Who's this, your minder?
Jason, this is Ken Barlow.
Oh, the local author, come school teacher, come trolley pusher.
Yeah, well, I'm here to plead on Toya's behalf. You know, you won't find many people as reliable and enthusiastic as she is.
The issue is one of professionalism.
Yeah, I understand that now, and I'm sorry for what I've done.
Look, she acted on impulse. Call it the exuberance of youth.
Call it anything you like. She's not coming back here.
Are you the manager of this station?
No, that's Paul Beck. I'm running it while he's away, and he's due back any minute, so you better scoot.
I think we'd rather stay. You'll have some explaining to do.
The kid's a student. He takes them on and he drops them by the minute.
He does. You don't. You've exceeded your authority.
Who cares about some kid from the local college?
I do. She's inexperienced and she's apologised. She deserves another chance.
Well, if you're determined to stay, sit and listen to how a local radio station should be.
Thanks. We will.
Mrs. Barnes, you've stated, in answer to prosecuting counsel's questions, that you last saw your son, Tony, on December the 11th, 1998.
That's right.
To clarify, this was the occasion on which you gave him £4,000 to buy drugs.
I gave him money to clear his debts.
Drug debts.
I suppose so.
Would it be true to say that your son inhabited a very unsavoury world?
I didn't like the people he mixed with.
Who were those people?
People like Jez Quigley.
Was Mr. Quigley with Tony when you gave him the £4,000?
No.
Did you see him in Tony's company at any time during that day?
No, I didn't.
When was the last occasion on which you saw your son and Mr. Quigley together?
I never actually saw them together.
Never?
No.
Did your son ever speak to you about Mr. Quigley?
No.
Did he ever mention his name?
No.
You never saw them together and your son never made any reference to Mr. Quigley?
No.
Is it true to say that, for all you know, they were total strangers?
I'm sure that they knew each other.
What are your grounds for believing that?
Steve MacDonald told me what he said.
Who told you?
Steve MacDonald.
Steve MacDonald. He's an ex-convict, is he not?
Yes, but that doesn't make him a liar.
He's a man who stands to gain financially if Mr. Quigley is convicted of your son's murder. What does that make him?
It doesn't make him a liar.
Neither does it make him a reliable witness. Any more than the unfounded belief that your son knew Gerald Quigley makes you one.
Tony did know Jez. He must have done.
I've no more questions, my lord.
Thank you, Miss Deakin. The witness may stand down.
He did know him.
The witness may stand down. Court will adjourn for lunch. All rise.
Hello, Toya. Everything all right?
Well,
We've met before, haven't we?
Yes, at Toya's birthday.
Oh, I remember. You're Ken Barlow, the school teacher with a book. That's right.
That was a very good interview, by the way.
You heard it?
It took me by surprise. I was expecting spicy aubergines and roasted mince or something.
Well, the tape jammed and I thought I ought to do something.
You saved our listeners from another dollop of Jason's jokes? Well, that's worthwhile in itself.
Toya was worried that you might have found the subject matter boring.
Not in the least. There's a surprising amount of interest in local history. You were articulate without being too intellectual for our listeners.
Oh, Toya's questions brought the best out in me.
Well, that's what a good interview was supposed to do.
She thought she might get the sack.
The sack? I'll sack him before I sack you.
That's great. I mean...
Yeah, she was really worried about it. I told you you'd be all right.
Oh, you should have had a word with Jason. He'd have put you straight.
Yeah, should have. So, I'll see you tomorrow as usual?
Yes. Oh, and think of a few more people you can interview.
Thanks.
It's nice to meet you again, Ken.
And you.
I'll best go sort out my mail.
Great.
Large scotch, please, Gina. OK. Oh, I've got something for you.
Really?
Yeah. I made your wages up. There's a small bonus and some holiday money.
I'm not due any.
I know.
I suppose I should say thanks.
Well, we're both sorry it's come to this.
Oh, yeah? Not as sorry as I am.
Keep the change, man. We work well together. You never complained.
No, I didn't.
If it wasn't you, who was it?
I'm not Sherlock Holmes, Mike. I've heard of trial by jury and trial by television. This is trial by Ken's column.
You live with the guy.
And I know less than anyone.
There are no other suspects.
There's every girl who works for you.
Hey there, I got my job back. Oh, brilliant. Right, I'll have a pint for Ken and I'll have a glass of white wine.
Oh, pushing the boat out, eh?
Well, why not? I'm celebrating. It was brilliant.
Oh, I did nothing.
Oh, he only said a few words, but they were the right ones.
Well, that's vocabulary for you.
I know it's not a proper job. I mean, I don't get paid or out, but it's the chance I've always wanted.
Well, you work hard. You deserve to get on.
You've got to start at the bottom, which is where I am.
And make sure you don't stay there.
Well, with experience on local radio, I can work my way up.
You will.
Is Allianne in the back?
Yeah, she was meant to go.
Can I go through and tell her?
Yeah, it'll be soon.
One man, two women, two jobs. One lost, one regained.
What are you trying to say?
Nothing, Ken. Work it out for yourself.
You show the witness Exhibit 14. Can you identify this object?
It's the baseball bat that was found in a wardrobe at the home of Gerald Quigley.
Was the bat clearly on view in the wardrobe?
No, it was inside a sports bag.
And did you perform a forensic examination on the bat?
I did.
Would you please tell the court your findings?
The bat was new. There were no indentations on it of the type you'd expect to find had it been used for the purpose for which it was made.
Are you saying that the bat had not been used for playing baseball?
In my opinion, it had not.
And were there any indentations on the bat?
There were several. They matched exactly the indentations in the skull of the deceased.
What else, if anything, did you find?
The bat had traces of chemical, common to detergent, all over the face of it.
And these were consistent, perhaps, with attempts to clean the object?
Yes, possibly.
And did you find anything else?
There were minute fibres of cotton.
And could you trace these fibres to any of the clothes belonging to the accused Gerald Francis Quigley?
The fibres did not match any of the clothes of Gerald Quigley that were given to me for examination.
Are you able to tell the court where the fibres did come from?
The fibres found were consistent to the jacket worn by the deceased, Anthony Horrocks, at the time of his death.
There were other traces on the bat, were there not?
I was able to find some bodily fluids, blood, skin, flesh, and hairs on the bottom of the baseball bat.
And were you able to determine the source of these bodily fluids?
The DNA profile of these fluids matched exactly the DNA profile of Anthony Horrocks.
Now, is there any doubt in your mind that the bodily fluids adhering to the baseball bat came from the body of the deceased?
The evidence provides very strong support for the assertion that the fluids from the bat came from Anthony Horrocks.
I have no further questions, my lad.
Here we go. Ken, another customer for your book.
Oh, great. I hope you enjoy it.
It's merely finished. I thought I'd go home and have a read.
Right, well, excuse me, telephone.
Yeah. Should I confess?
To Baldwin? Well, you lose your job.
And Deirdre'd get hers back.
Oh, she can do better for herself than run around with the likes of him. He's had the loan of her for far too long.
It might clear the air.
Well, she wouldn't go back there after what he's done. Take my advice, let sleeping dogs lie.
I suppose you're right. And I need the work.
Okay, just go home and forget about it.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.
Rita, I'm putting £10.50 on the counter for my paper bill, all right?
Right, I'll push your receipt through the door.
Okay, bye.
Bye. I made it quite clear. I didn't want to see you again.
There's been a misunderstanding.
Not on my part.
I'd like the chance to explain the situation.
You're married. That's the situation.
Not as clear-cut as that.
You're getting divorced?
No.
You're going for a legal separation?
No.
Then you've got a nerve. And in case you hadn't noticed, this is a public place. Not ideal for debating a question of morals.
I thought you closed early on a Wednesday.
Well, I don't, and I'd like you to go.
Look, I never misled you. I never said I wasn't married, and when the subject came up, I said immediately I had a wife.
And where was she? Sat at home by herself?
No.
Well, you should have taken her to the theatre.
I can't. She's in a nursing home. I've just left her.
Bully for you.
You don't understand.
I think I do.
No, you don't. She is mentally ill. I have a wife, but half the time she doesn't even know who I am.
Mr. Quigley, if, as you say, the baseball bat didn't belong to you, how do you explain the fact that it was found in your flat?
One of my mates must have put it there.
In your wardrobe? In your bedroom?
Yeah. Well, I didn't put it there. My fingerprints weren't on it.
Well, the bat had been wiped clean of fingerprints.
I didn't wipe it. I never even touched it.
What's the name of your mate who put it there?
Well, that could have been anyone. Friend of a friend. There's all sorts of people coming out of my place.
So the sport bag was lying in your wardrobe for months, and you never thought to look in it?
No. I used to go to the gym, but I got a bit sick of it. Just threw the bag in the bottom of the wardrobe and left it.
How very convenient. Now let's move on to the evidence of Stephen MacDonald.
Yeah.
And Mr. MacDonald stated that you told him you had committed the murder of Anthony Horrocks.
I never.
But you never told him, or you never committed the murder?
Both.
But Mr. MacDonald, under oath, said you implied that you did. You smashed Mr. Horrocks' skull to bits. You hit him time and again. You brought your baseball bat down on the back of his head, not once or twice, but 6 or 7 times.
I never.
I put it to you that you did.
I never did nothing. Well, I've never even touched him.
It was very difficult there today. She was in a very aggressive mood.
Well, if she's mentally ill, she won't be able to help herself.
Yes, I know that.
Well, what is she suffering from?
It's Alzheimer's disease. It's advanced now. It's not an easy thing to live with.
My husband had a brain tumour. That wasn't easy either.
I'm sorry. You know, sometimes we used to laugh about things she forgot. She would confuse one object with another. She even tried to peel potatoes with a spanner.
What's funny about that?
Well, you learn to laugh. You open the fridge door and there's a pair of shoes.
No?
I'm not explaining myself very well.
Look, I sympathise with anybody who is ill and with their relatives. But she's still your wife.
I know that, but it's a long road.
You sound sorry for yourself.
I suppose I am.
Aren't you sorry for her?
Yes, very, but to all extent, she's out of it. But she'll never leave the nursing home. I'm in an empty house.
And you're the one with all your faculties. You should be able to put yourself in her place.
Rita, I can't do any more for her. Sometimes when I'm holding her hand, she doesn't even know who I am. I don't want to be alone for the rest of my life, Rita. I'd hate that.
You sound as if you've written your wife off.
No, I care for her and I visit her.
But you've had enough.
Maybe. Perhaps that's a way of putting it.
Well, at least you're being honest now.
I don't want to be alone. I just love to have someone to talk to, and I want to be part of a couple again.
You are part of a couple, but it's not you and me.
Rita.
I'd like you to leave now. Please?
There you go, mate. Cheers, mate. Won't Curly notice when 10 of his trolleys go missing? He doesn't count them every night. I want to look a bit suspicious when you and me bring them back all in a row. I'll say some kids chucked them in the canal. He lives next door to you. Yeah? You see him all stacked up in your backyard. He wears glasses. He can't see a thing. You can see when he's been taken for a ride. Him and his trolleys. No way. They've got more brains than he has. And to us, they were £2.50 a go. Brilliant, eh? Hey, cheers.
That prosecuting bloke, Marriott, I mean, he made mincemeat of him over the baseball bat. Me mate left it, and me what you could see the jury didn't believe a word.
It's as good as a photograph of him caught in the act.
Yeah, the blood, the hair. Can't argue with forensics. It's going to be sent down.
Well, he didn't even put up an alibi, did he? Doesn't know where he was on the night Tony died.
Well, he knows, but he won't say.
Oh, no jury's going to let him get away with it.
Baseball bat's proof.
What was the word Marriott used?
Incontrovertible.
Incontrovertible. I'll drink to that.
Me too.
Yeah, me. That? You're right. Incontrovertible.